So this is my Laowa 7.5mm f2 wide angle and Sea Dreamer lens. This is a rectilinear lens, which I'd never heard of until quite recently. And that means it does extreme wide angle shots, but it doesn't have that horrible curve feeling you get with fisheye lens. So it's 7.5mm, but it's not a fisheye lens, which means the effect you get from it is quite extraordinary actually, and is ideal for filming interesting things close up, which is what I used it for in this video. Then I also had use of my little Osmo Pocket. You can see it's getting a little bit worn now. I use it quite a lot. I've used it all around the world and it's been absolutely fantastic. I know it's kind of been superseded by the DJI Action Cam now, but I think it's by far one of the most cool things I've ever bought, and I really love it. It's great for tracking shots and movement shots. And then I videoed also, this is the first time I did this, I recorded onto my little Sandisk 2TB solid state drive, which hung off the back of my Blackmagic 4K camera. That was great as well using that. So here we go. So here we are in Kensington Gardens in London, and I'm filming quite close up. This is within centimeters of these birds. But look at this effect, it's extraordinary. Obviously it's manual, so I'm having to manually focus this. But other than that, it's just extraordinary. And if you're filming something that's relatively stationary, it worked out really quite easy to use. So I can get quite close up. I could also get these slightly wider shots here with my poor wife. And then you could get really close up here, really close in, and still have a depth of field, which is unusual with a wide lens like this. And it was just a joy to use. It's just, looking back at this footage, it's really quite an extraordinary look and feel. I've never seen anything quite like it, especially with the straight angles. You can see it's getting a little bit weird. I don't know what the word is in the corners. But I showed this to my nephew, and he felt it looked almost like it was a VR headset. It had the same kind of feel and quality when you look through it. But you can get these really nice close-up shots here and still look at that, that parrot moved. It was straight away, it was out of focus, which is nice. Here I tried pulling focus a little bit. And here again, I mean, really close. This parrot was so close. Here you can see I'm changing, I'm pulling focus a little bit here. So I'm going back to the parrot in the background, and then back to the foreground, and then back to the forwards. And that seemed to work nicely, actually. I've seen it could work better, I suppose, and it's not the most ideal lens for doing that. But I mean, if I tell you that literally that parrot could just lean forward and touch the front of my camera, it's very close, and it's almost like a macro, not quite, but getting on for a macro lens when used like this. This footage here is actually my Canon 50mm f1.4, I think, that I'm using with a Metabones adapter, and immediately the picture actually improves as far as I'm concerned. It's a different look and feel. It's a much more creamy background, and it's definitely a portrait lens, and you can see it's a more impressive lens. And then here we're going straight to the Osmo whilst this thing does some acrobatics. So the Osmo is great for doing obviously handheld movement shots, because obviously with that gimbal it makes quite a big difference to the shot, and also it's so light you can hold it up. And,
you must be so full of apple. Seriously, that's why I think they're getting drunk.
You reckon?
Yeah.
So, these little guys were so cute, weren't they? And again, they seem to survive the winter. Someone told me that they were from an escape, a mass escape that happened a few years ago, and these particular types of parrots seem to survive the winters in England. The winters in England aren't quite as bad as they used to be, so partly it's because we're a bit warmer, but partly I think it's because these parrots come from generally mountainous areas wherever they're from originally, and they can tolerate a little bit of cooler weather.
Yeah.
From what I understand. And also they're quite funny. Look at this guy, he's really reaching out for that apple. And again, here's where the Osmo is great. It's great for just little shots like this. This guy's getting a little bit hungry for human flesh.
Ow! 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 Ow!
And this is the Osmo using the slow motion feature on the Osmo. So it's difficult to get focus on such a small screen. I don't normally attach my phone to it, which is why it's so, well, a little bit out of focus. And it's also because the crop factor, it gets considerably closer. My poor wife is having a hair pulled out by this parrot. I think they're looking for nesting material, so they'll go for anything they can find. Put in a little clip here that I managed to ruin by using my own fingers to ruin the shot. Now, when I was using the camera, I did not feel that my fingers were anywhere near the front of the lens, and yet here they are poking through and ruining some nice shots. So that's something to watch out for, because it's so wide that you can easily ruin your own shots if you're not careful. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. That was the two lenses I tracked. So it was the Canon 50mm lens I checked out, and then the Laowa 7.5mm one, and then obviously we got the little Osmo for some extra shots. And all of those lenses were filmed on my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera 4K using my SSD that I got from Sandisk, 2TB one. I really pushed the boat out on that one because that's pretty expensive. I think it was like £300 just for that little hard drive. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching. Take care. Bye bye.